Good day and welcome to Indian Weekender at 5. Let's begin today's main developments. The Ministry of Health says 19 new community cases have been reported in Auckland today, with just one yet to be linked, adding to 9 cases over the last 14 days, which are also yet to be linked. Migrant communities are on cloud 9 after the one-off visa announcement by the immigration minister yesterday. The devil, however, as usual, is in the detail, and we will know over the coming weeks and months of how this new policy will work. For now, everyone from migrant groups to the healthcare, hospitality, retail, logistics industry, and businesses all over have breathed a collective sigh of relief, including mayors of cities like Queenstown that depend so much on migrant hospitality workers. On another front, level 1 freedoms will be a thing of the past, Director General of Health Ashley Bloomfield told news website Newsroom today. He said, people need to be thinking about a future that's different from what we've had pre-Delta. This points to the government willy-nilly coming to the conclusion that total elimination is not the way forward, and living with the virus may be the reality, as many countries around the world are reconciling to. Just like even Singapore. And even if Auckland drops to level 2 next week, as is widely expected, its hard borders will still remain, as Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern indicated on Thursday. The question is, how will this work and how will it affect supply chains? Well, we're talking about borders in Auckland, but Australia, across the Tasman, is set to greenlight international travel today, bringing forward the plan to scrap the international border bans to November in states that hit vaccination targets. Landlords, meanwhile, in New Zealand, are selling up in droves as the government's new tax rules take hold, the New Zealand Herald reports today. Under the changes, which come into force today, landlords will not be able to deduct interest costs of their mortgage as an expense of their tax bill. Now let's move on to the big topic of this week, the new one-off visa announcement. Let us look a little deeper and find out what this means for the migrants who've been waiting for years and years for a clear pathway into New Zealand. I have with me my colleague, journalist Sandeep Singh, to discuss this development. Welcome to Weekender at 5, Sandeep.
Hi, good evening, Dave, and thank you for having me at your show. And pretty excited, I would say, with the announcement. But I would point out, I think you have very aptly summarized that the detail is in the devil is in the detail with this announcement. So surely, it was a big announcement that was expected for, I would say, some time. But yeah, I think we will have to see how it unfolds in the near future.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that this was a result of the sustained pressure that so many groups put on the government for months and months, asking them to really come up with some sort of a plan? Do you think that this is just one of those placeholder plans? Oh, okay, yeah, we're there. So, it was a long 4-year-old queue. Now that's just been extended to a 5th year. And nobody realizes. Everyone thinks that yes, this is a great announcement, but it's the fact remains that it's just been extended by 1 year.
Fair enough. No, I could not agree more with you. I think you have very aptly summarized it. And it also reflects to the fact that this government, by and large, on most of the issues, have responded to the pressure only, which government should be doing. But generally, what is also expected from a government is to act on a plan, to make a plan and make a target, make a goal, and announce the deliverables. And that is where probably this government has not been up to the mark. We know with confidence with the government's way of planning on many other fronts, on many other issues facing New Zealand. But especially for our migrant community, I think immigration has been surely in chaos. We all have been consistently reporting and raising the issues, be it on partnership visa issue, be it on about our migrant workers who have been ordinarily living in New Zealand but now are stuck overseas. So we have been raising all issues about them. And time and again, what we have found is that this government has always responded to the sustained pressure. And when they do that, they basically are and create policies on the hoof, which has been a big criticism of this government, and which we suspect will be the case with this major announcement as well. It is all quite euphoric right now, very exciting for all our fellow migrant workers who are in the country. They are definitely excited, and there
Yeah.
is a sense of euphoria which we don't want to burst the bubble. We surely want them to enjoy, to be excited about the prospect of making New Zealand finally their home after having been here a temporary migrant for years. But certainly, analysts like yourself, like us, and Indian Weekender, and many other experts as well, they are still not very clear that how government wants to deliver this, how government will be able to achieve this. It is a very ambitious goal, an ambitious target, ambitious project that government has
That's
taken
right.
upon.
Because and the way they're going, 160,000 odd to be done in 365 days. That is about 400 or 500 a day. I don't think they have the kind of manpower for that. And by the way, thanks for pointing out that this government only responds to the pressure. You haven't seen it, but my editorial exactly has that headline today. It says New Zealand keep up the pressure.
Surely, well, that's what it is, and it was a good piece,
Well,
I would say. Surely, definitely.
it's not going to work. The pressure has to be sustained. So many groups have put pressure on the government to take this final stand. Later on, I'll be also talking to Jeet Sachdev, who was spearheading a group of 160 migrant groups which came together and met the Prime Minister and the other ministers, I think even Chris Fafoy. And that's what's happened. And I think yesterday there were videos of people celebrating all over, especially in Papatoy, and there were even memes with Chris Fafoy now sporting a turban and called Chris Singh.
Well, that's quite a good coverage, Dave, I would say. So well done in that stuff. Like, you have covered a lot for this week. And just to add on what you have said, that you have been quite generous in counting the days. When you said that probably we are looking at 165,000 numbers that government announced, and you have counted around 365 days. But to be more precise, probably we are looking around, when we are calculating and including probably around 50,000 partners as well, and the families as well, we are looking at a number of around 200,000 migrants who would be eligible to get this one-off resident visa. And in terms of days, we would have only 200 working days. So what
That's
it comes down is that probably we are looking at 1,000 visas, 1,000 visas in a month, something on those lines. Which I'm pretty sure is beyond government's proven reputation of last 3 odd years. So this government, particularly in immigration sector, has been in absolute chaos. They have not been able to deliver what they have promised, even in terms of partnership visa, culturally arranged marriage visas. What they have promised, they have never been able to deliver. And resource constraint and lack of planning has been one major reason for that, because government has not been able to think clearly and longitudinally and latitudinally. So same with this issue as well. What we are seeing is that this government has again handpicked a number of visa categories who would be eligible to apply and get for this one-off resident visas, but it has left a lot of other migrant workers who have been in the country ordinarily for many years, more than what this visa requirement is.
Yes,
They would have changed their visa categories
that's right.
as all other migrants. Well, like we all migrants, we do that because to enhance their chances to be more eligible, to have more numbers in the point-based immigration system. So what this government has done, they have handpicked few visa categories, but they have left a big number of other temporary migrant workers in dark. So probably
Not just that, Sandeep, there was a queue before, and, some people were high up in the queue, maybe with a number of 2,000 or 8,000. Now they've been asked to join another queue.
fair enough.
This is
Yeah, no,
almost
sure.
exactly like the MIQ system. And I think this one thing you can tell, that this government is very good at running lotteries.
Yes. Thanks for bringing up that point. I think I
It was
completely agree
MIQ
with you.
lottery, now it is almost immigration lottery. It's just
Immigration
queues
lottery.
and more queues and still more queues. That's how this thing works.
Surely. Well, I think, yeah, that's probably our common ground, and we agree on that this government is very good at picking up the lotteries, and which eventually, as we see, turn into human miseries, because it creates a lot of frustration. There is no sustained plan. And one of the things that I would like to raise, and probably you would also agree, is that this announcement has left our temporary migrants who were ordinary resident in this country but were unfortunately stuck overseas. Since last 1.5 years, this government has failed to respond to their needs, their problems, their issues. They are facing huge debts back in their country, big mental issues. They had a life here in New Zealand, but this major announcement has left them in dark, which is quite unfortunate. And I think it is time for community groups, and we would be doing, Indian Weekender would be taking that leadership anyways, I'm pretty sure, to raise and demand for them, justice for them as well. This government needs to be fair to them as well, and many other temporary migrants who are in the country and do not qualify for this one-off visa.
Yes, that's right. Well, thank you very much, Sandeep, for joining us and sharing your thoughts, forthright thoughts as usual. And thanks again.
You're welcome, Dave. Thank you very much, and keep up your good work.
Just a little while back, we were talking about how this government needs a lot of pressure to be put on it before it takes action on even the most burning of issues. Yesterday's one-off visa announcement from the immigration minister, after increasing pressure from so many quarters, opposition parties like National and ACT, the private sector, and even local government leaders like mayors. Equally, considerable pressure and lobbying came from migrant leaders. One such was from a group called United Voice, which was a collection of more than 160 migrant groups. We have with us today in our virtual studio one of the prominent leaders of this United Voice group, Jeet Sachdev, who needs no introduction, the chairperson of the well-known and respected social service organization, Bharatiya Samaj. Welcome, Jeet ji.
Thank you, Dev Sahab. Thank you very much for bringing me on this virtual studio. So
tell us, how has the reaction been to this announcement yesterday with the migrant groups?
Fantastic. I'm overwhelmed. Actually, the response is so great. I can tell you, people are literally dancing with joy. They are having great times. They think that, something, the Christmas gift has come earlier. Santa has arrived and gave that Christmas gift early. People are very, very happy.
Tell us about this group of 160 migrant groups that forged a common platform and met the Prime Minister and other ministers, and also about how long has these meetings and interactions been going on?
Yeah, it all started with DSC. What happened? I think a couple of months ago, or little more than that, we had a meeting with Right Honorable Jacinda Ardern and myself, Prithipal ji, and Daljit Singh. We had a good meeting with Prime Minister, and we had a good, we talked to her about the issues of the community, that what they are facing, immigration related issues. And she listened to us very nicely, and she said she will take it away and she will come back to us. And you see, when the time went by, and we were just waiting for something, and we also heard that the community has got more and more issues now. And then what we thought, what we can do. I saw that, I realized that many organizations on their own, they are trying to prepare memorandum and, send it to the prime minister or to the immigration minister. But what happened is that, you see, they were not getting any good joy out of it. Their memorandum was, sent, they receive it, and there was no action was taken. So I was actually, I told this group, you see, unless it is a collected or united voice, people are not going to get anything out of it. So what I did, I went around and I discussed with many organizations, and I expressed to them that let us do it together. So then everybody was thinking, okay, if we are going to do it together, how we are going to do it together? Because no organizations want their work is to be undermined. So I said, okay, we are not forming any organization. We'll create a platform and we'll call it as a united voice. So that was people understood, the organization leaders, the community leaders, they understood, and they said, okay, Jeet, we will come forward and support what you're saying. Okay, then it started in that fashion. And slowly.
Which other ethnicities were involved in this? Was it only 160 Indian organizations, or?
No, G, no. We are having all ethnicities. Actually, I can proudly say that the migrant council there, and the Vaitakre Ethnic Board, and Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, you name any ethnic communities, Africans, and so on. Even from the China and the Philippines and many other. I can tell you, we just said, okay, everybody should come forward and join hands with the migrant voice so that we can, carry weightage. If we don't do that, what will happen? We will be taken like any other organization which has, sent their memorandum and requested them to look into immigration issues and all those things. I can tell you there that, condition of the migrants are very, very poor at that time. People were really, literally, they were suffering. They did not know what to do. People had no jobs, visa problem, because some people are waiting for their residency for years. Some people are waiting for their work visa for months and years. So all these things were taking time, and people were frustrated, and so do I. And because all the community leaders were frustrated because they were waiting how they can resolve this. And this was the only answer when we can come together. Not only ourselves, only also, some of our community leaders approached the other political parties, and they were also on board. Yeah.
Going forward, how will this group keep the pressure on the government? Because yesterday's was an announcement, that's just a good start. But how do you ensure that it will deliver on its promise this time?
Yeah, we trust that they should. And also, we are not putting any pressure. We are just working with the government. We are telling them, because we have been working with the immigration department for many, few to 3 years, and we are having regular meetings with them. We are meeting on regular basis, and they are listening to our, requests, whatever we are talking to them, and they are taking back to the government. We're not having any, something substantial did not come out. But this is the reason we all came together and we said, okay, let us join hands and talk to the government. And I'm happy that they have listened. And I'm sure this is not everything has been resolved, to be very honest.
Correct.
There are so many other issues which are yet to be resolved. We were saying, yeah, okay, you don't want to talk about offshore, people at the moment. That's fine. Let us resolve the issues of the people who they are onshore and who they are waiting something to happen for them. Now, there's a lot of peace of mind that people are having now. They know that there's a ray of hope. They can see a light in the tunnel. That's the main thing. You see, now they are this kind of things, they know that one positive step has been taken by the government, and they are hopeful many more positive things will happen for the communities.
Jijdi, this United Voice, was that a platform specifically made for this particular issue, or will this platform continue?
I think we should continue this platform, because now it was very hard to bring organizations together. Now they have seen the result of unity. I'm sure many more things, not only this immigration issue, there could be many other possible situations where we need to come together and lobby it in a collective voice. Otherwise, what will happen? You see, the individual organizations, that we all know that a very simple analogy, that united we stand, divided we fall. So this is a reason that people have realized that how much strength the unity carries. And once it is, the result they have seen, now I have got so many calls, and they're all very happy. They say, okay, now we have achieved this. Let us continue and talk to the government about the rest of the issues. You see, there are so many people who they are not having any kind of visa in this country. I was always saying one thing to the government officials. I mean, sorry, to the ministers and everyone whomsoever I meet. I said, you see, you got the young people here. Why don't you make use of them? See, there are thousands of people who they are having no visa, and they are still here. They're still working. Government is losing all the revenue. They should be getting it. They're losing the revenue, and giving them. I know that it's it's a backdoor entry, but the thing is, whosoever is here now, I can recall that the last amnesty was in 1987, and you see now it is almost 35 years, 35 years,
That's
and
right.
nothing. No, yeah. So I think if they can open door for these kind of people, then things will be better for them.
Well, congratulations on your achievement, Gigi. Please convey our Indian Weekenders congratulations to the entire group of 160 organizations and leaders. And thank you very much for joining us today on this program. Tomorrow, October 2, is Gandhi Jayanti. There will be a celebration of the 152nd anniversary of the Mahatma's birth at the site of his statue in Wellington. The Indian High Commission will be there and will also live stream a lecture by Shobhana Radhakrishna, a world-renowned authority on Gandhiji, at 4 p.m. on facebook.com/India in New Zealand. You'll find a link on this page as well. Don't forget to watch it. Tomorrow is also the birth anniversary of India's former Prime Minister Pandit Lal Bahadur Shastri, who is remembered and revered as one of the most honest, ethical, and straightforward leaders of modern India. There may not be as many statues of Shastriji as there are of Gandhiji's overseas, but there is one in Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan, where he passed away in 1966 under very controversial circumstances. There is a proposal to also have Mahatma Gandhi's statue in Auckland, and recently Mayor Phil Goff reiterated that there would be a statue soon. Indian Weekender pays homage to both these legendary and great sons of India. Thank you very much for watching us on Indian Weekender at 5.